technical problems. All right, excellent.
There you go.
Why are you guys here? Let's go a little meta for a moment here. Why are you here in this room with me now?
Because everyone here is awesome.
Cats? Cats a pretty good answer. You might also say that you're here because you want to learn more about Node, and that's a pretty great answer. I'm going to persuade you, I hope, that that's not the only answer you can have to that question. It's not everything you could be getting from NodeConf or JSFest in general. I'm going to tell you why I'm here. I'm here because I get something here that I can't get anywhere else. Cats, I can get cats anywhere. I gotta confess this to you. I have cats at home. There are cat slides on every single slide deck in the universe, right? I'm gonna tell you a story about me and the Node community and why I get something here that I don't get anywhere else. And I'm gonna start by telling you who I am. Why does Michael think I'm a Node badass? I don't know why he thinks I'm a Node badass. I look like, I do DevOps at NPM. Every time you install a package or publish a package, your work goes through my code. I have the responsibility of keeping that flowing. I am plugged in very deeply to the heart of the Node community. But it wasn't always like that for me. I have not been plugged into the heart of Node community for very long. I'm going to tell you about what my life was like before I was a part of this community, when I was a solo cat. I've been writing software professionally for a long time, possibly longer than some of you in this audience have been alive, literally. First got paid for it in 1996, but I've been writing code for a lot longer than that. At the time that I got started, my community of practice, the phrase that Carter used earlier, was myself and my coworkers. I learned how to program more or less on my own and from my coworkers. I did not participate in any communities at all. I didn't go to events like this. If events like this existed, I didn't know about them. And that was pretty good. Actually, I have had a great career. I've worked on a lot of great things. I've had a lot of fun. I found Node completely on my own. I was, as Fred Schott said, I was interested in the async nature of things. I found Node around the 04. I taught myself how to program Node using the code examples in the Node source and from the code examples with Express. I did not seek out anybody's help learning Node. I was maybe aware that there was a community of people using Node, but it didn't occur to me that you all were somebody I should or could talk to get anything from. I did this all on my own. And then I did a really, really scary thing. I published a package on NPM. This is the first time in my life that I had ever participated in what I would call a programming community. And this is the safest of all possible ways to participate in a programming community too. It's almost completely anonymous, right? No one has to know who you are. You use a handle, but that's divorced from everything else. Like SiegeBot. Do you know who SiegeBot is? You probably don't know who SiegeBot is. My icon on GitHub is of a rocket launch at Cape Canaveral. You don't know that that's a woman or not. Like, it's just so putting that toe in the water ever so gently, right? But I was still terrified. You guys probably publish packages on NPM all the time and don't even think about it. That's actually a triumph. I was scared about this. There were maybe a few thousand packages on NPM. What if somebody noticed mine? What if I had bugs? What if I was using Node wrong? Just as a spoiler, my first package had bugs. I published a patch release like half an hour after publishing it because I found a bug. It was very embarrassing. I probably was using Node wrong because, I don't know, it was Node 4. Who knew what was going on? But I was scared that people would yell at me or laugh at me, which is a thing that happens, right? I've seen people's code get eviscerated on Twitter, right? People have GitHub repos, other people mock them. Why would you do that? And I was really nervous about that. In fact, nothing bad happened. Nobody commented on my bug. Nobody made fun of me for publishing a package on NPM. I did it again. But this is the thing that happens when you participate in community. Even in a simple, tiny way, like publishing a package on NPM, you make yourself vulnerable. I made myself vulnerable by putting a little bit of myself out into public in the form of a little bit of code. And any participation in a community requires this. It's a side effect. It's what happens when you do it. You're all here, sitting here in front of me. I can look at you. I see you. I can make fun of Ryan's t-shirt if I felt like it. He's made himself vulnerable just by being in the same room as me. So participation entails risk. Humans are spiky and dangerous sometimes, except that a lot of the time they're not, as I discovered with this community, with you guys. This community welcomed me. That was actually it for me for a long time. I got going on NPM, I got going with Node, I did a bunch of stuff, I published some modules, I got a Node job, I met some people, and then I went to a Node conference. This was a big move for me. I'd never done this before. I was like, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of this, but it seems really exciting, and I've seen these people's names on modules that I use, and I'm kind of really excited to maybe meet some of them, even though that was really scary. This is not my first conference. I went to SIG Chi in '99. That was giant. I hated it. It was miserable. I didn't try to repeat that experience. So I went to NodeConf. I knew one person there, my coworker Kit. That was it. I did a lot of sitting on my own at lunch and meals because I didn't know anybody, right? Meanwhile, this community is happening all around me. Does it sound sort of depressing that like I didn't know anybody and I sat on my own at lunch? It wasn't. NodeConf 2013 was amazing for me. It changed everything for me. I got to sit in the very first Node School experience, the Stream Adventure, which was fantastic. And then something really wild happened. I met people. Bryce, you're in here, right? Yeah, there you are. You and we met each other at NodeConf 2013, and we both didn't know anybody, right? And now we know people. It's amazing. I talked to Rod Vag because he had noticed that I had published modules on NPM that used Level Up. And he was really excited about that, and he wanted to talk to me about Level Up. I said, whoa, that was wild. I just talked to Rod Vag who wrote this Level Up thing. This is so awesome. And then another thing happened. I was still on NodeConf 2013 here. There was another session that was live coding with Dominic Tar, Mr. Got Tear Gassed and isn't here, and Reynos. They did this live coded distributed chat service thing. And my mind just went kaboom. I went home and I wrote 3 modules on NPM using Scuttlebutt and consistent replicated documents. And they're completely frivolous modules. No one should use them for anything. But I was so excited about that. It was this just massive inspiration thing. I went home excited about Node, excited about programming, excited about everything around me. I want you guys to go, I hope you're that excited about monkey patching, or about building wearable clothing, or about dat. I'm gonna name check Dominic Tar a little bit more. It's so sad that he's not here, because he's somebody, he doesn't know he's the star of this little story. But he's my mad science at conferences inspiration. I see him only at conferences, or in bars, surrounding conferences. And every time I see him, I talk to him about something that completely blows my mind. We talked about encrypted Merkle trees with cryptographic hashes that you can trust so you can have secure distributed databases. He asked me to do some things about like making content on NPM addressable via its hash so that he can always get at stuff. And this is like the coolest thing ever. I would never think about cryptographically signing Merkle trees unless Dominic Tar was there to tell me all about it. And he doesn't need to know that he inspires me this way. All he has to do is be himself and talk. Guess what? Your mad science inspiration might be in this room right now. It might be, well, Dominic isn't here, so he can't be your inspiration right now, but Substack might be. Or Node Botanist might be. Max and Macintosh blew my mind earlier today with dat. I am going to go home this weekend, and I'm going to have the equivalent of like this explosion of modules because I'm going to use dat for something. I'm going to figure out what dat is good for. I'm going to play with it all weekend. I am so excited right now. Here's another flip side. You, yes you, might be somebody's mad science inspiration. Cassandra, your mad science inspiration. Guaranteed. All right. Touchy-feely, right? Here's another wacky thing that happened at NodeConf 2013, because I'm still in how one stupid conference changed my life right now, okay? I met Rick Waldron. He did the NodeBots session at NodeConf 2013. And, you know, he threw me a Leap motion controller before these things had been released, and I made my little crazy flycopter go up and down and land and crash into people in response to Leap motion commands. And then he did this really nasty thing to me. He volunteered me to give a talk at Cascadia.js. He somehow talked me into giving an intro to robotics talk at Cascadia.js. And this was literally the first time I had ever gotten in front of a room of people and talked about something. He met me at a conference and decided I could do that. And I did it. And it was amazingly fun. And I'm standing here now in front of you, I think, because of that experience, that random encounter with someone at a conference who I'd never met before. I'm pretty sure that this amazing job at NPM that I have is the culmination of this experience of conference going. I'm now working on the thing that got me involved in community in the first place. That first package that I published, that was me putting my toe in the water. I'm now all the way in it, and it is fantastic. So, okay, I'm talking about me and all this stuff that happens to me. Am I special? No. I'm just a human being. I took the first step, though. I went and I made contact with other human beings. I went to that conference, and I shook Bryce's hand, and I talked to Rod Bag, and I said yes to Rick Waldron when he wanted to give me a Leap motion controller. This is, I think, should be no surprise to anybody. We are social animals. We thrive on connecting with other people, and we especially thrive on meeting each other face to face. The human contact is how we get to know each other and we meet each other. Rick thought I could give a talk because he'd actually met me and seen me talk and seen me code. Also, the way the world works is not a secret. I love to say this. Humans are social animals. We do a better job connecting with people we've met at least once. And that's what's happening right now, here in this room. Social connections are how our industry works. It's how our lives work. Admit it. Live with it. It's another amazing thing that happens. Serendipity. I did not know when I woke up this morning, when I got on BART, that I would be excited about dat. I had no flipping clue. In fact, Max didn't know he was going to be talking about that, right? So this is the awesome thing that happens at these conferences that can't happen anywhere else. I am going to have a chance encounter with someone of you after this talk is over, and you're going to tell me about something exciting that I didn't know existed, that I couldn't have predicted existed. Surprising things come from new experiences. We learn better when we're having new experiences. We're more creative when we're having new experiences. You're stuck in a rut, go travel somewhere you haven't been before. Go travel to a conference, meet someone you haven't met before. Add newness to your life in some way. Being here at this conference makes that happen almost automatically. If you introduce yourself to someone you haven't met before, you are bringing new things into your mind that you hadn't thought about or experienced before. And that is going to teach you something completely new. Okay. Cats. I love cats. Notice that there's a sort of a thread through all this. I haven't actually been a passive consumer of this community experience. I took risks. Every single one of the opportunities I've had, or the experiences I had at NodeConf 2013, paid off for me because I met them halfway. I had to meet a stranger. I had to have a conversation with Rod. I had to take that risk and publish that first module. I had to make myself vulnerable and put myself out in a way that, maybe for some of you, it's easy, you're extroverts, but I'm kind of not. I like to sit in a corner and write code. All of this experience has been me pushing myself into some place where I'd never been before. Here I stand in front of you telling you about this story about me. I don't know whether you're going to judge me for it, or whether you're interested for it, or whether you're falling asleep or not. But this also is a moment of vulnerability that I hope is going to pay off, because I hope to get you guys excited about participating in this community. There's one more thing I want to talk about community participation. I want to talk about responsibility. Every one of the opportunities that I took advantage of comes with a flip side, and that flip side is a responsibility that I took on when I decided to take advantage of and do something exciting. Here's an easy example. Working at NPM, right? I'm at the heart of the community. That is actually an enormous responsibility. I hold the heart of the Node community in my hands. I can bring you all down. I can make it not work. And, which is not something I ever want to do, but it's like my daily job is important, and it's a burden, and it's something I take on and to give back to all of you. All right, that's like big and like mechanical, but it's actually at a smaller level too. When I stand up here and I give a talk to you, I have a responsibility to do it well, to tell you something that you didn't already know before, to inspire you, to give you something you didn't have. I don't want to just stand up here like, hey, yeah, look at me, aren't I awesome? No, this is a responsibility that I feel towards you because I'm participating in the community. And let's make it even smaller than that. Being kind and welcoming to other people. Your behavior here affects other people. You can make the difference between a newcomer like me having a miserable experience and continuing to eat meals by myself and not meeting people, and having an amazing experience, a life-changing experience, a friend-building experience. I had an amazing NodeConf because the people around me take that responsibility seriously. They were kind and welcoming to me, and that was fantastic. All of you are part of the Node community just by being here. You're present at a tiny conference, right? You're already like risk-taking in a really big way. That responsibility is already yours. Okay. How many of you in this room know me? Like get a hug from me when you meet me. Okay, that's not enough. The rest of you can know me too. And if you don't know me, if like I don't look interesting, there's somebody else in this room you could meet who's pretty interesting. This is a tiny conference. We could end up knowing each other, every single one of these people. Every single one of you guys could know me and know each other at the end of this conference. I bet we could do it if you felt like it. But at the very least, I want you to encourage somebody. Be somebody's inspiration. Be kind in your GitHub conversations. Answer questions in a friendly way. Share your code on GitHub or in NPM if you can. Mentor a Node school. That's actually not very hard to do. You don't have to run a Node school. Just mentor at a Node school. It's easy and it's awesome. Watching newbies get going with Node is really fun. It reminds you of what your Node experience was the first time. If you want to like move to advanced levels, run a Node school. Talk at a conference. Let yourself be encouraged. If you saw a talk today that got you really stoked, roll with it. Be stoked. Write code. Do something with that. Monkey patch something ridiculous. I want every one of us to go home and monkey patch something horrible. That would be awesome. Take the risks. When somebody offers you an opportunity here, take it. Maybe not every opportunity, but I want you to be a little bit daring. Do it. This is how our community is built. This is like where it comes from. This is like all of it right there. Encouraging other people and being encouraged yourself. It's why we're here. It's why I'm here. I'm here because of that moment when Max was talking about that, and I said, oh my God, that's fantastic. It's going to be okay. This community is awesome. I think there's a reason I picked this community rather than any other to do my little daring stepping out from my cubicle farm. I have had nothing but fantastic experiences. The fact that I'm standing in front of you at all right now is an existence proof. There's nothing special about me. All of this can happen to you too. Take the shot. Take the chance. I want to see you up here next year. Thanks.
CJ, everybody. Woo! Awesome.